I actually intended to play music and die at 27. Hello, my friends. Today we are talking about how to find your purpose in life whilst dealing with the fact you have ADHD. I want to discuss this because it's something that I have struggled with my entire life, a lot more so through my 20s and late teens, but realistically, it's still something that bothers me, and it has led me down some very dark paths. And if I can help you to not go down those paths, I will have done something decent with my life. So here we go. We're going to dive in. I'm going to give you 5 steps to finding your purpose whilst having ADHD. Number 1, we have to accept that we are different. The usual way that society tells everyone to find their purpose is basically the American dream kind of thing. You go to school, you get good grades, you go to a university, you get a degree, you get a job, blah, 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 and it's prescribed to you. And you have to make decisions about your entire life when you are like 13. In the UK, I think it's 12 or 13 that kids are making GCSE choices. If you are only ever going to do the standard route of finding your purpose by going into a job based on your qualifications, how are you meant to make that decision at 12 or 13, even without ADHD? Add ADHD into the mix, and that's impossible. As I've discussed before, we are dopamine deficient. We are constantly needing new and better things to keep our attention and keep us interested. And if you're just on this myopic, singular path, that's only ever going to lead to bad outcomes. Depression, restlessness, alcoholism. When I say that I've been down some dark paths, I was a functioning alcoholic, getting progressively worse from the age of 16 to 32. I don't want that for you. And having some guidance over how to find purpose may help with that, but the first and most key thing that you can do is to accept that the stereotypical prescribed path that everyone else is doing is more than likely never going to work for you as somebody with ADHD, and that is okay. So number 2, once we have accepted that we are not going to walk the same path as everyone else, and that is fine, we also then need to try new things. We need to keep experimenting. We need to keep trying to find what it is that grabs our attention longer than anything else. And the other thing to say about this is that you have to expect things to shift. Even if you find something that you love doing, you're ADHD. Like, the chances that you're going to love it in the same way when you're 12, 15, 18, 20, it's going to be very different by the time you're 28, 30, 32, 35. I've been playing guitar now for coming up to 24 years. I think I'm at 23 and a half as of today. It's very different to what I was doing when I picked it up at 12. When I was that age, I thought my purpose in life was going to be a rock star. I actually intended to play music and die at 27. My purpose has had to change because I'm still here at 35. Also, my reasons for playing guitar are different. Back then, I loved it because it made me a little bit different. I could be one of those rock kids, kind of stoner, hippie kind of guy. And my guitar playing was tied into that identity. Now, I play guitar for fun. And for a long time, I have not done anything, even recording. I've not written anything. I've now started doing a channel on YouTube of me just playing songs that I like in one take. I'll leave a link to that channel below. It has 8 subscribers, I think, but I don't care about the subscribers because I am doing it for the love of playing guitar, which is very different to anything I would have done as a kid. So when you're finding your purpose and experimenting with different things that you can do, even if you find something that you love, expect it to change over time because it's what your brain chemistry is most likely to dictate. Number 3 in finding your purpose whilst having ADHD is that you need to be open to different perspectives. Much like what I was saying with how I played guitar in a different way when I was a kid to what I do now, you have to widen your perspective. If you are trying to do everything from a myopic, singular way of doing things, that is never going to work and never be fulfilling if your brain chemistry with ADHD is anything like mine. The other thing to mention there is that the worst days come when your vision is clouded, when your perspective has been zoomed in so much on something negative that you can't see the good in anything. Obviously, here I'm talking about depression that is often a symptom of ADHD, but whether you have ADHD or not, depression is that constriction of being able to see a bigger picture. If you can think along a broader time horizon, if you can see a bigger picture, if you can appreciate the good that is around you, it is very hard to maintain depression. But this is something I've struggled with for most of my adult life. Depression is always going to be there. It's not something that can be cured as far as I'm aware. And medication can often make things worse, but we're not going into that today. What we have to do when trying to find purpose, trying to just survive, considering that a lot of the times with ADHD, our mind is going against us, we have to try and see the biggest picture possible, widen the perspective that you have to allow you to feel enriched with everything that life can provide. If you can do that, you'll be a step further along the way to finding your purpose. And just as a side note, if you are experiencing things like depression, anger, resentment, fear, anxiety, aside from anything medical, those are imbalanced perceptions. And if you're interested in a proven process that actually balances the mind, I have a product based on Notion. It's called Unfuck Your Mind. It's $29 and the link for that will be down below. So number 4 on our path to finding purpose with ADHD is to not cave to self-destruction. This is a mistake I have made for the majority of my adult life and even before becoming an adult, to the point where often nowadays it's slightly habitual. There's things that I will do and I'm like, why am I doing that? It is not favorable to me. It's not helping me in any way. Why? And luckily, I've done enough training of my mind that often I can break that cycle pretty quickly. If you are not used to that, you need to start building that muscle of being able to recognize negative patterns and breaking them as quickly as possible. If you don't, you may end up where I was when it comes to self-destructive behavior. I had no purpose through all of my 20s, realistically, at least up until 27, 28. I thought my purpose, as I said, was to play rock music and die. Part of that was getting fucked up. Like, I was going to die anyway. Why not just drink myself into oblivion? When you crave these substances, latching onto that thing, it's a very lazy way of nullifying the impulses that you have that come as part of having ADHD. If we're going to live a purposeful life, if we're going to do something fulfilling, we cannot cave to those impulses that are self-destructive. And I'm not saying you have to go sober completely like me. It's been 3 years now, so if you do want to do that and you need some help, I'm more than willing to try and guide you in that respect. However, I'm not saying that everyone should be teetotal. You don't have to be totally sober, but you also have to be able to moderate. Moderation is the key to life. If you can moderate with alcohol, even recreational drugs, you're okay. You can do that, and I respect it. However, when it came to alcohol, moderation just didn't seem to be possible for me, especially by the time I quit. And what I came to realize is that if you cannot moderate, you should go for the extreme that is least detrimental to your health, your future, your mood. And for me, that's going to be sobriety. For too long, I was on the extreme that was very detrimental to all of the above. And finally, step number 5 in finding your purpose with ADHD is to never give up. Just keep going. If you are anything like me, there's a decent chance you will never feel like you found your purpose. I'm not sure I found it now. However, I know that if I can be of service to somebody, then I'm doing something purposeful. And although this might not be my life's work as much as I want it to be in this moment, I know in this moment I'm doing something good, and that is enough for me. Therefore, I know if I just carry on doing things that are worthwhile, things that I deem to be purposeful, then I can't really go wrong. So you do have to just build resilience. Don't give in to those detrimental behaviors and just carry on going. Keep trying new things. Keep reminding yourself that it's okay to be starting over again every couple of years because your interests have changed. We are not like neurotypical people. We are the neurodivergent. So just accept that your path will be different and your purpose is going to change, and you may feel like you never find your purpose, but you can today do something that you find purposeful, something that you find fulfilling. And if you just keep on doing those things, you will, by definition, have lived a life of purpose by the end. I hope this helps and that you can find some inspiration in my words. And like I said, hopefully I can steer you away from some of the dark paths that I have been down. I should mention at this point, if you are ADHD, diagnosed or not, on medication or not, I would love to help you if you are looking to get into the creator economy. Every month, I'm taking on 5 ADHD adults. Well, I'll take you through my program, ADHD Freedom Creator. We're going to be talking about the mindset required to make a business work. We're going to be talking about content creation and how you can use your story as an ADHD person to help and benefit other people. We'll also be talking about how to monetize your new mindset and the content that you're creating so you can create a business out of being yourself and break free from the shackles that society has us in when they tell us, like I said right at the beginning, to go down that myopic, singular path that everyone else goes down. If that sounds good and of interest, the link for that will be the first link in the description. Just go on there, fill out the really simple form, and I will be in contact. If that isn't for you, not a problem at all. I hope you found value in this video. Either way, thank you for being here, and I will see you on the next one.